That was the scene yesterday in Dayton, Ohio, where mourners pressed public officials to, quote, do something following the shooting in the city. Joining me now is Ohio Democratic Congressman and Democratic presidential candidate Tim Ryan. He represents the Youngstown area of Ohio across the state from Dayton, where he is now. Congressman Ryan, thank you so much for being with us at this difficult time.
Thank you.
So, Congressman, let me start off by talking about the president's comments, calling on the country to, quote, condemn racism, bigotry, and white supremacy. The president also blamed mental illness, violence in video games, and the internet for the shooting. What is your reaction to what the president said today?
Well, he's blaming everything but the issue that we really need to take care of, and that's the fact that these weapons of war are on the street and through various loopholes are able to get into the hands of people who are using them to slaughter people at Walmarts, at churches, at entertainment districts like the one I'm standing in Dayton. And he is the distractor in chief. There are two bills sitting on the steps of the United States Senate on comprehensive background checks that has the support of 80% of the American people, that all he would have to do is ask Mitch McConnell to take those bills up, call the Senate back in session, and that he would sign them. And that would be a huge step. This is the same speech he gave after Parkland. So this is nothing to me. This means nothing to me. It's nothing but a bunch of rhetoric. And the only time he got off script with that particular speech he was given, he didn't even know the name of Dayton. He called it Toledo. He's not paying attention here.
Yeah, a lot to unpack. Let me start with that, though. Just to kind of take a step back for a moment, for folks in Dayton, and you know, it's been such a trying time as people have talked about the tornadoes earlier this year and then now this mass shooting. Yeah. Can you just tell us what kind of message it sends when a mistake like that is made by the President of the United States?
Well, let me first say that if anybody wants to help the families that have been victims here, that you can go to the Dayton Foundation webpage and you can make a donation to help those families out with funeral arrangements and a variety of other things. There are kids involved here that have lost their parents. So they can go to the Dayton Foundation webpage and make a donation. But it's hurtful. I mean, you know, you could ask anybody in America today, you know, where were the two mass shootings this weekend? And everyone in America would say El Paso and Dayton. And so for the President of the United States to make that big of a blunder shows me, I think he has diminished mental faculties, quite honest with you. For him not to know that, and for him to consistently say he forgets, he doesn't remember. Look, these are big issues that we have to deal with in the United States. And it was a slap in the face to the people of Dayton. And, you know, they noticed, I will just say. But what's a bigger slap in the face is for him to distract and start talking about video games and other issues, or tying this to immigration, which is one of the most polarizing issues in the country now. He's going to somehow tie to gun reform is ridiculous. It's a slap in the face to the victims, and it's a slap in the face to the people here in Dayton who have suffered so much, and El Paso over the past couple of days.
So he didn't bring up immigration in his remarks. Why do you think that is?
Well, he tweeted it out, you know, just hours before that he was going to tie this maybe to a bigger immigration deal. And I just think, again, it was maybe that was his strategy when he tweeted it out, and then it became video games, and then it became, you know, solely putting this on the mental health issue, when 4 out of 5 of these mass shootings, there is no mental health issue. This is about the weapon of war that these people are able to have access to in the United States, that they don't, you know, they play video games in other countries. Other countries have mental health issues too, but you don't see the mass shootings like you do in the United States, and that's the point. This president tries to get us distracted. I'm staying focused. We're staying focused. Dayton is staying focused. The people of this country are staying focused. We want these weapons of war off the street.
So, Congressman, let me ask you about what you mentioned just a moment ago, and that's that background check legislation. So when asked about calling the Senate back into session, Pennsylvania Republican Senator Pat Toomey reportedly said, quote, I don't think we'd accomplish anything if we did, and if we force a vote tomorrow, then I think the vote probably fails. What do you make of those comments? Is Senator Toomey right?
Sure. Yeah, I would guess that he is right. As sad as that is, I think Toomey is right. And the reality of it is Mitch McConnell and the Republicans in the United States Congress are in the pocket of the National Rifle Association. Period. End of story. Hard stop. No, nothing else to say. And that's the bottleneck. There are two pieces of legislation sitting at the Senate steps right now. And Mitch McConnell will not take them up for a vote. And those pieces of legislation have the support of almost 80% of the American people. Now explain to these families in this town that have lost lives and lost kids, and kids have lost their father. Explain to them why. Explain to them why we can't take any action today in the United States of America. Because you're in the pocket of the gun industry? That's disgusting. And every mom and every dad in America, this is not about hunting. I hunt. One of the best days of the year is when I go duck hunting with my son. This isn't about hunting. This isn't about protecting your family. This is about saving lives in the United States of America and showing some leadership in the United States, putting the power of the federal government, the most powerful government in the world, behind an idea that we can actually make our citizens safer. And the president's not doing that. Mitch McConnell's not doing it. And as I said, Mitch McConnell has to get off his ass. And I hate to be so crude, but something's got to penetrate what these people are thinking and get this thing done. This shouldn't be that hard. We shouldn't be even talking about it. And there shouldn't be 30-plus dead people in America today because politicians have failed to act.
Let me ask you about red flag laws, because potentially that could be an area where there's been agreement. Republican Senator Lindsey Graham said that he reached a deal to introduce a so-called red flag law after President Trump signaled support for the idea. Is that something you'd support on its own?
It depends on how it was written. I've been in Congress for 17 years now. I've seen a lot of laws that have a lot of fancy names that don't necessarily get to the goal that we want to have. So I would have to see how it's written. Generally, I would say yes. But at the same time, that's not far enough in this process. I mean, we've got to go way beyond red flag laws, and because that's if somebody has an idea. Many of these people had no idea that they were trying to buy a gun, no idea that they wanted to buy a gun, no idea on anything. So that red flag law would leave vast openings to the same system. And so my fear is that Mitch McConnell and the president are going to jump on this red flag idea, water it down, and call it a proposal, and then say, oh, the Democrats aren't supporting it. Maybe we will, maybe it won't. Depends on how it's written. I think Chairman Jerry Nadler is going to go and draw up a piece of legislation, maybe even this summer, on red flag, that maybe we can find some common ground. I hope we can, but that would be completely inadequate. It certainly be a step in the right direction, but nowhere near what we need to do. They need to pass what's on the Senate steps right now. This battle is at the doorstep of Mitch McConnell and Donald Trump and nobody else.
Ohio Congressman and Democratic presidential candidate Tim Ryan, thank you so much for your time, Congressman.